Hey everybody, welcome to Ellis Mowers. Look at what we have in the driveway here. Seems like more things that are not mine keep showing up for me to fix. I don't mind it because I still make some decent money. Again, experimenting in doing repairs for people. Mostly it's just people that I know or have been referenced to me. Usually at 9 of the 10 probably that I do are not strangers or anything like that. This is my neighbor's son, my neighbor to the left of me here. Oddly enough, he is 95 years old, so that's kind of cool. But his son brought me these two for me to look at to see if they're even worth saving. He says that he has a third as well. So one of his other family members, I guess, liked Snapper rear engine riders, so they'd buy one, use it until it stopped working, and then they'd buy another one, use it till it stopped working, and etc., etc. So these things seem to keep finding me. This is number, well, including the one that I started out the year with, this is number 4 and 5 that I have seen this year, which is kind of cool. Probably some of the better ones that I've had too, except for that 28-inch one that I actually almost kept until I got my Husqvarna back there. Anyways, let's give a first evaluation. I have looked at this one already, and I can tell you what's going on with it. We're going to look at this one as well on camera. I kind of have a general idea of what's going on with it as well. But first one is, they're both 33-inch decks. This one's got a 16.5 horsepower. It's the newer style Intech, 16 horsepower Briggs Intech engine on it. It is missing this cover on it. Full of oil though. Oil's in great shape. In terms of level, it does need a change, but it's not black or anything like that. Air filter. Air filter I think was okay. I'll have to check it. It's just a little difficult to check on these newer Snappers because of the way that the gas tank and stuff is. I'll need 2 hands to do that. Just a little dirty. It came to me, it had a dead battery. I charged the battery, put the battery in it, and I'll let you hear what it's doing. I'll put you at the end, kind of toward the back of the mower here, and maybe it'll do it. If not, I'll tell you what it does. Let me, I think I can start it with the, go. See if it starts without me on it. Everything's a little stiff on it. So you can see it runs, and the blades work too. So quite honestly, this one's alright. Like I said, oil change, it needs a gas cap. The gas cap is done on it. It's missing the little vented part here. So I could find a vented gas cap to go on this. Like I said, charged the battery, the thing started right up. Needed some gas and some air in this left rear, which it seems to be, left rear seems to be holding alright. From the air I put in it, I might put a little bit of ATF in it, just for good measure. The front tires, they probably just need air in them. They're notorious for not holding air, and so But yeah, that's, I mean, like I said, that's kind of cool. It almost looks like this one got stuck in some serious mud at some point as well. So, what you heard on the start there was it trying to kick back. It's either one of two things, and I don't think it's the second that I'm going to mention. I think it just needs a valve adjustment. I know these Intex are pretty bad about the valves becoming out of spec after some hours of use. And this mower's had some decent hours of use. Let's check the blade real quick. This is the first one I've seen that's had actual anti-scalp wheels on it, which is kind of cool. The blade does need sharpening, so that's not a big deal. But as you can see, the high lift portion of it is still in good shape. I have to check the other side. Deck belt is still fully operational. It's got a little bit of wear, but it is still doing just fine. So I think all this one's going to need is a valve adjustment, oil change, blade sharpening, and a gas cap. So that should be pretty cheap for the customer. And then if he so chooses, then we could put him a little top and a little pull rope deal on it. But I just think he wants them to be in running condition and usable. So, like I said, gas cap, valves, maybe ATF in the tire too, oil change, blade sharpen. This one I have not seen yet, or haven't analyzed, so to speak, except for me just trying to pull it, see if it had compression. The engine does have compression, so that's a good thing. This one seems to be it's made in around 1990, I think. Yeah, it's a 900223. It's missing the cover's been off of it. So, and the coil is missing from it. But the good news is, I've got a little bit of debris and stuff down here, but the good news is the coil is, the posts are good. So I can probably find a coil here to put on it. If not, I got one that I can rob off of another 12 horsepower to see if it works. I don't want to part out a good engine, but if I can get this one back on the road for the guy, then I can always buy a coil and put it on another engine. That's not a big deal. Apart from that, I don't know much about this one. We'll dive into it. I'll throw some starter fluid in it. Let me look at the blade situation here. If I can get the blade. The deck belt looks to be in good shape. The high lift blade is alright. Not quite as good as the other one, but still good enough. And when you engage the deck here, the deck engagement seems like it's a little bit stuck, but let's see if it's got tension on the belt. It does. That's a good thing. So the transmission seems to be pretty loose on that one. Those gears on that one are pretty tight, but that's just, I think that's just kind of the way that it is. 12 horsepower Briggs, 30 inch cut, so that's a 33. This is a 30. My apologies, the extra jut out in the deck kind of threw me off. So I at least know it needs a coil. Exhaust is pretty rough on this one as well. Could use an exhaust. And probably a bunch of other maintenance items. Like I said, we'll dive into it and we'll see. But that's the first of two, I guess. So what I might do, might contact the owner about this one, tell him what it's going to cost to fix, and then evaluate this one real quick. Maybe throw a coil on it and see if I can get it to run, and go from there. It's got gas in it and it doesn't smell horrible, so I'm hoping that there's not a bunch of gunk in the carb. I bet these guys swear by non-ethanol fuel, and I will too if that's what they use. But like I said, everything's just old on it. Anyways, I'll stop talking. We'll locate a coil for this maybe, and we'll see if we can get this thing started. Since we have the pull start here, I'll lube this up a little bit, and we should be in good shape. Alrighty, so I got the coil in. I don't know if I've got it gapped 100% correctly, but I found it had a Yazoo in the backyard that actually the coil was already unbolted off of, so all I had to do was just unplug it, plug it back in. We're going to put the pull rope back on just as a preliminary here. And just for kicks, I get this pull rope back on right so it doesn't rip anything out of it. Let me put you on the tripod. Just for kicks, I wouldn't put it past this thing to start, to be honest with you. Because it sounds like it's got good compression. And the fuel doesn't smell bad, it just depends on how long it's been sitting, so. Alright, have the park brake on, keys in the run position, and it's in neutral, so it shouldn't have any resistance. Let's see what happens. Get a little carb spray. Running out. Let me see if I can get at least one hit on it. Now, let me get a little more carb spray. I'll be right back. Alright, I got a little bit more down there from that bottle. Let's see. Yeah, I was hoping it was going to at least do something. I'm going to try with maybe a little bit more carb spray. We'll pull the spark plug and see how it looks. Alrighty, y'all, we're getting somewhere. I pulled the plug on it. We have spark, which is good. Trying to spray some carb cleaner down there. I don't know what the carb situation is like, but I don't think I can get it far enough into the intake. Let's see if it does want to fire now. No. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the plug back out. I'm going to reconnect the kill wire because I disconnected it. So we're going to reconnect the kill wire here on the bottom of the coil, which is right there. What I want to do now, I wanted to make sure that the coil was good, and it is. Take the plug out real quick. I'll put you on this side while I work. Spray a little carb cleaner and see if we get anything. By the way, this plug's basically brand new, so tells me they tried a new plug to see if they could fix it. All right. It's always like a puzzle. There we go. All right, let's see if it runs now. It's not. Interesting. Let me give it one more spray. The spray might have evaporated. Okay. I mean, it is a champion plug, so it is a good plug. Okay, try now. Makes me think it's some sort of safety switch now. It's not good. I'm going to take off the coil one more time and see if it's getting spark. Let's see if it cranks now. It's like a darn puzzle piece. There we go. Dang. That is not what I want to see. We have some sort of safety switch issue somewhere. So that's not good. Because I've got the key in the on position, parking brake on, and all that good stuff. So, alright, so we know that we have some sort of safety switch issue that I got to trace. So we'll work on that next. Alrighty, we're making advancements here. Let me throw some more carb cleaner in the intake. I was able to let it run for about 3 or 4 seconds here, so. Yeah. Alright, so we know for sure 2 things. One, carb issue. Probably needs cleaning. May have to do a replacement. Depends on what I decide. Issue number 2, I have an issue with a safety switch that I have to track down and or eliminate. I do not like to eliminate a safety switch, especially on a customer's lawnmower. So we'll have to track that down and see where we're having the issue at, which on these snappers I am not the most familiar with. I'll have to delve into these little plastic covers here to see what I can find. But again, I have it in the run mode. I don't have it off. Parking brake is on. Engine's on speed, correct speed. So I'm going to call the customer, tell them what's going on. Tell them that this one's probably a good one to fix. This one I have to trace the safety switch, and then it'll probably be good. And a carburetor. So we'll try and get them out for less than $100 a mower. And yeah, so we'll see what he says, and we'll go on with the repair if we do. Alrighty, y'all, let me show you if I can the excuse me. If you can see on there, hopefully you can see the ohm meter. I'm testing the switch here, this neutral safety, and it is working. I'll show you. So it is open whenever alright, so it's open, you see that? Whenever I've got it in gear, bring it into gear, and it closes. So that switch is working, which means we have some sort of wiring issue, because I don't have any continuity from the wire that comes out of this going to the going to the coil. Let me put the park brake on just to make 100% sure. Okay, so this blue wire right here should have continuity all the way, because that's the wire that goes up to the switch, I'm pretty sure, unless that's some sort of ignition. I don't know if that's some sort of ignition diode or something there. So you have that, it goes into that for some reason. I don't know what purpose that little thing right there serves. I guess it provides power to the switch. I'm not sure. I don't know if you can see that. But let's take a look. So I would think I would have continuity either from this wire to the blue wire, or the black wire to the blue wire, which I have neither, which is interesting. So I wonder, let's see, I think this is the stator. It can't be. Could be. I mean, I want to have to do a little bit more research on this, because I haven't seen something like this before, so that's kind of cool. What I could do is take this brown wire, because it goes to like a little, what in the world? It goes to a little tie-in somewhere, down on the bottom of the wiring harness down there, which I need to look for. So that could be a blade safety, and the blade safety may not be working. So maybe my next step is to take this cover off, which I'm not going to do today, and see if the blade safety is working. Because something, I wouldn't think that that little module right there would go out. Something is causing no continuity to the coil. So we're going to test that out here in just a minute. Alrighty, y'all, good news for this video. And good news for me, he wants to go ahead and fix this thing. So I'm in the process, or go ahead and finish fixing it. Because, I mean, like I said, it wasn't running in mowing condition. So I went ahead and took the blade off. I didn't do the whole full tilt on this because I still had the battery and everything in it. But this is not the original blade. So the blade's been changed at some point. It's an Oregon blade. It's got a rotary sticker right there on it. I have changed the air filter, or excuse me, I cleaned the air filter out. Just beat some of the stuff off of it. And went ahead and changed the oil filter. I haven't put oil in it yet because I'm going to do the valve adjustment. And valve adjustment's much better done without any oil in the crankcase so that the gasket sealer can seal for the 24 hours it needs to. I'll put air in the tires, and I'll show you when I get the valve cover up, and I'll show you how bad the valves are out of spec. And we'll catch back up. I'll catch back up with you then, and then we'll see tomorrow after I adjust the valves and let that gasket sealer dry, put oil in it, see if that helps out the starting situation any. I don't know, excuse me, if this thing's run hot or anything like that because of it missing this cover. I might, the next time the guy's over here, because like I said, he's got a third one that he wants to bring me, I'll ask him if he wants me to source this and the pull rope for it. I already told him a price. Seemed pretty happy with it. So I'll see if he wants to add on and do that. So anyways, let me get to work. I'll show you the valve. I'll show you how bad the valve's right of adjustment next. Alrighty, well, I went ahead. I'm just mocking this back up. I went ahead and put oil in it. I checked the valves. The valve cover had been broken into before, and the valves really weren't all that much out of spec. So I am suspecting that this thing's got either worn cam lobes or a worn cam lobe, or I don't think it's got a broken ACR, because after you get the first hump, it cranks and starts fine, or it starts and runs fine. So let me see if what I did with the valves made it any better or not. Hopefully. Alright. I forgot I had y'all rolling, I'm sorry. Seems to be slightly better. Like I said. It did kick over and it tried to kick back on me, but let's see if it does it again. Still a little better. I'm not going to say much. Best thing to do is to try a cold start on it tomorrow and see if that helps or if that does anything different. So we'll wrap it up for tonight. Next day I work on this. We'll hit up, blow off all the grass, nasty grass, give it the super clean treatment, and hopefully it'll be much nicer looking lawnmower. I think this is going to clean up really well. So I'll catch back up with y'all then. Okay, y'all, so this newer snapper here, I'm going to go ahead and hit it with some super clean. I started it yesterday and I don't think my valve adjustment helped the issue, so I think I've either got a worn cam lobe or a broken ACR, although it will crank over pretty easily after it gets over that first hump, which makes me think that the ACR is okay. But I think the left rear is going to need a little bit of ATF in the tire, so I'll get that after I clean it. I'll probably identify where that problem is. But let me show you that it's still doing what it's doing. However, it'll crank up and run just fine. It did yesterday. So as you can see, it's still doing a little bit. There's one more thing I would like to check to make sure is the drive disc. I don't know if the drive disc is rubbing up against the bottom of the crank shaft. I will check that. If I find that is the case, then we'll work to fix it. If not, then we're just going to go clean it. Alrighty, y'all, we're going to hit these up with the super clean. I got the foaming in the original here. I like to use the foaming for around the engines and stuff, kind of like on the really oily spots, like on the back of this snapper. So I'll go ahead and start working on this. What I'm going to do, this particular snapper, let me show you real quick. I took the cover off and we got a little bit more rust in the deck than I thought. I mean, it's not end of the world rust, but we are starting to wear a hole. I think my issue with the safety comes with this blade safety switch. It doesn't want to go all the way back like it needs to. And so I don't think it's quite triggering the switch on. But like I said, I'm not 100%. So what I'm going to do is clean these two mowers. The new one's ready to go. I do think that the choke return spring for the choke, or the return spring for the choke, is not working because the choke doesn't retract whenever I pull it off. And I've lubed it up and it's free, so I've got to fix that real quick. I'll show you that, and then we'll wrap up part one because we're getting kind of lengthy here. Alright, so again, super clean. We just finished the 2 mowers. Again, with caked on dirt that's been here for years and years and years, it's not going to be perfection on these things, but you can see how much better it is, especially that front wheel there. These rear wheels, when they're subject to a bunch of grass and stuff over the years, as you can see, like I'm even like pushing on my fingers trying to get this off, and it's basically ingrained into the wheel. So I would have to use some like abrasive or something to get that off, and I don't really want to be starting to take paint off. Same thing on this. Again, just been exposed to grass and dirt for so long that they're not going to come back out like 100% shiny. However, you can see what was on the back of this mower here is completely gone. So I missed that one spot back here in the back for the oil. You can see where the rest of it is gone. So and then this one right here is in good shape too. So I'm going to pull this one back in, and we'll fix the carb spring, the choke return spring on it, and then we'll continue on with well, actually we'll have this one finished as it's going to be in my hands, unless the owner decides he wants to put a little shroud and the pull rope back on this thing. Alrighty, well, here's what I did here. Pardon, the coil is still a little oily. Do need to kind of scrape it off just to get it a little cleaner there. What I did is I got it fixed, so the spring had just come unwound. All you gotta do is kind of take the choke butterfly off here, lift it up, and kind of twist it one time around the little tab here that you can, I don't know if you can see it on the bottom right there. So right there, and then there's a tab under the choke arm there. And so we got the spring action on the choke to work again. So I'm going to go ahead and put it all back together. We're going to do a final look at this thing, and this thing's going to be ready to go, as good as it is, because I don't think we're going to be doing any sort of action with the ACR. I will check the flywheel real quick since it's just one bolt. Look at this, guys. You see that? That flywheel key, ever so slightly, I mean it is sheared, but it has advanced or put back timing ever so slightly. So this is good. This is good. Here's what I'm going to do. Let me get a bolt. Let me get that bolt right here, right? We're going to do this the Terrell way. Let's see, so that's just all together, so I think I can just pop this bad boy off the way that it is. Let me go get some tools, I'll be right back. Alright guys, one quick whack with the pry bar and hammer. Get this bolt up back off. There we go. And there's your sheared flywheel key. Let me get it out for you. How about that? Got to get it out of the flywheel itself here. There we go. Keys, they're amazing, aren't they? Alright. So, I just had a flywheel key in my hand here. What did I do with it? Right. That's the sheared one. Here's the new one. Look, same key. Same key as a Briggs push mower. So, single cylinder Briggs riders are the same. Let's put the new key in. I'm excited that it's the flywheel key, in all honesty. Just trying to pull the magnets on me here. Alright. You're gonna go down there. So again, what I like to do, put the key in. Of course I just dug it down there in the hole. But I like to put the key in and then just kind of tap it in there very easily. So that's what I'm gonna do next, and we'll try it out. Alrighty y'all, let me tell you what's going on here. It's not very good either. I thought I was all done, wrapped up, throw the flywheel key back on, it would fix the kickback and all that good stuff. Quite the opposite. It did the opposite. So, like I said, I think the compression release is gone out of this thing, because it took a 300 cold cranking amp battery, full charge, to get it to turn over, and then the starter solenoid ended up was being covered completely in leaves, and I think the starter solenoid shorted out on it. Because I got power, I have no problems with the wire for the safeties from the switch all the way to the solenoid is completely good. You don't even hear a click, but I have 12.5 plus volts right there, and so I think all the leaves and stuff and the water that I got in washing it shorted it out. Whoop-de-doo, right? So I got to replace that solenoid, and hopefully that'll get us back to where we're at least cranking, and then I'll have to notify the customer that, hey, it's more than we thought. It's a compression release, and see if he just wants to try and use it as is with a strong battery, or if he wants to actually fix it. I don't know. Part of me just says I should have left it alone at the flywheel key, since it was running and cutting the way that it was, but you know me, I can't go without fixing a sheared flywheel key. Plus, that's just a problem waiting to happen. Let me get this swapped out. Let's see if we can at least get it to turn over again. Alrighty guys, I got the ultrasonic cleaner back there. It's working for me. But I wanted to finish this video real quick. I did say that this was all I was going to do with that mower, but the customer actually wants me to go ahead and do the ACR on it. So we're going to go to part 2 of these snappers, and part 2 will be me putting a new ACR automatic compression release in this 16 horse Intech, which is known for ACR failures. So that's going to be part 2. I want to say thank y'all for watching. You can catch me at Ellis Mowers 09 on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll see y'all right here on part 2 on the next video.